Yeah, this city. So many people, so many stories. I had one too. A happy one, you could say. But one wrong decision ruined everything. Even my life now. "47 days ago, he only wanted to love someone." Rafi was an architect who still believed buildings could make people feel something. 6 months since Tanvir disappeared. He had stopped counting the days. He hadn't stopped seeing his face.
Late again, Rafi.
The best architects are never on time. We're on creative time.
Tell me you're coming tonight. I found this gallery opening. Very interesting people. What kind of interesting people?
The kind that make you forget the last 6 months.
Fine. 1 hour.
Rafi remembered his best friend Tanvir, who had been missing for months. He didn't know it yet, but this was the last ordinary evening of his life.
Mingle. That's what you're here for. I'm mingling with this painting. We have a connection.
He turned around, and his eyes found a beautiful woman standing across the gallery.
The painting is called The Drowned Women.
She's not drowning. The artist was wrong about his own work. Look at his hand. That's not someone giving up, that's someone reaching.
Or someone who's been reaching so long they look the same.
I'm Rafi.
I know. You've been reaching for someone.
Who was that? I don't know. She said she knew me. Probably just a line.
She was quietly checking her phone. A beautiful blue lotus symbol.
So you just come to galleries and tell strangers what their paintings mean?
I come to galleries and say true things. Whether they're welcome is not my problem.
What do you do when you're not reinterpreting dead artists?
I study people, what they want, what they're missing, what they're hiding.
You'll call me when you're ready to stop reaching and start finding.
She left her number and walked into the rain. He stood there until she disappeared. He didn't notice the blue lotus screensaver as she handed back his phone.
Hey, that woman from the gallery, Nila. Just be careful. Some people are interesting for all the wrong reasons.
You sound like my mother.
Yeah. Good night, Rafi.
He thought about calling her. He thought about Tanvir. He didn't know yet that both thoughts were connected.
You never talk about your family.
Families are complicated. What does your mother think of your architecture?
She thinks I should have become a doctor. Why do you always do that?
Do what?
Answer a question with a question.
Because if I answer yours, you'll ask another one. And I'm not ready for where that leads.
I want to share something that matters to me. Will you come? Just once. If it's not for you, I'll never mention it
A
again.
meditation group.
Ma-Jin is remarkable. She helped me when I had no one.
Okay, once.
He took the card. He would ask himself later, why didn't he listen to that feeling in his stomach? It looked like an old house. It felt like a mouth.
Welcome. We're so glad you came. They all knew I was coming?
I mentioned you. They're just welcoming.
Ma-Jin was the most calming person he had ever met. That should have been the warning.
Rafi, Nila has told me about you. The architect who builds spaces for people to feel things.
That's one way to put it. I just came to see what Nila does on Thursdays.
For now, that's enough for now.
It's the truest way. You understand that space shapes the soul. That's why you're here. That's why you belong here.
She knew my name.
I told her.
She said I belong there.
Did it feel wrong?
No, that's the strange part.
Then trust the feeling.
It was strange, but not bad strange. The woman, Ma-Jin, what did you talk about? Just she asked about my work, my life, normal stuff.
Did she ask about Tanvir? No, why would she? Why did you ask that?
Just making sure she wasn't pumping you for drama. You know how these groups are.
You said Tanvir specifically.
You talk about Tanvir, I associate. It's not a conspiracy, Rafi.
For 2 weeks, he was happy. Real happiness. The kind you don't examine because you're afraid it'll disappear. He should have examined it. The second time was easier. The third time felt like home. He never asked himself who had told her about his grief.
Grief is not weakness. It is the body remembering love.
The question is whether we let grief close us or whether we let it open us to something larger.
Something larger.
He searched for her. He found nothing. He told himself that was fine.
Surprise!
You should have called.
I wanted to surprise you.
You did. Come in, come in.
He saw the name. 1 second. Sinan. He told himself there was an explanation.
An architect knows the cracks you ignore become the collapses you didn't see coming.
So you're the famous Nila. Rafi wouldn't stop talking about the gallery.
All good things, I hope.
No, just easy company. You two seem comfortable, like you've met before.
Rafi talks about you so much, I feel like I know you.
He decided not to confront them. He decided to let them think they were safe. He decided to find out everything. The Blue Lotus was not new. It had been somewhere before. He just had to find where. The resolution was too low to be certain, but certainty wasn't the point. The point was that she had been there before. The most dangerous thing he could do was let them see his face change. So he practiced the face that had seen nothing. He was better at it than he expected.
How was Thursday's session?
Ma-Jin asked about you. She wants to see you again.
Did she ask about Tanvir?
Why would she? She doesn't know about Tanvir.
You never told her?
It's your story to tell, not mine.
Rafi questioned Shinin.
You knew her before the gallery. Tell me something true, Sinan. Yes.
3 years. I was in the group. Before you. I got out, they let me think I got out. The price was... I had to bring someone connected to Tanvir.
You brought me to her.
Rafi, I'm sorry. I thought if I just got you in the door, Ma-Jin would see you weren't what she wanted and let it go.
What does she want?
Tanvir, she wants to know where Tanvir is. She thinks you know. Tanvir is dead. Is he?
Tanvir found out what the group really does. Not meditation, recruitment, control, and something worse, people who threaten to leave or talk. They don't. Someone reported him. He went underground. His disappearance was real, but the death certificate was manufactured.
6 months. I grieved him for 6 months.
I know. I'm sorry.
And Nila?
She grew up in it. She's Ma-Jin's instrument. But Rafi, I think she's as much a prisoner as anyone. I've seen how Ma-Jin controls her.
That's not an excuse.
No, it's not, but it might matter later.
6 months of grief had been built on a lie, designed to keep him from searching. Someone had known exactly how to weaponize his love.
I'm going back to the sessions. I'm going to find Tanvir. And then I'm going to make sure Ma-Jin can never do this to anyone again. Rafi, if she finds out...
She won't. Because you're going to keep being her informant. Except now you're mine. What about Nila? I'll figure out Nila.
He had gone to the gallery to forget grief. Now grief had become a weapon, and he intended to use it.
He went back. Same door, same building, same face that had seen nothing.
You came back.
I said I would.
People say many things. You actually came. That tells me something.
What does it tell you?
We do not find truth. Truth finds us when we become still enough to stop running from it. The question is never what is true. The question is always, are you ready to stop running?
What if you've been running so long you don't know how to stop?
Then you've already started. You just don't know it yet.
You looked worried tonight, during the session.
I wasn't worried. I was thinking.
What about?
About whether the things we do for people we love can ever really be forgiven.
This is where they hold the private sessions, the ones the circle doesn't know about. Ma-Jin meets people here separately. How did you get this? She trusts me. That's the worst part. Has she mentioned Tanvir recently?
A new location. A new line on the wall. The map was getting bigger. The center of it was getting clearer. He saw him again. This time, he didn't run. This time, he took a photograph. An architect measures before he builds. He was measuring. The image was too blurry to be certain. He was certain anyway. Some things you know before you can prove them. He had always known Tanvir wasn't gone.
You seem different lately.
Different how?
Lighter, like something stopped weighing on you.
Maybe it did.
She had a question. She chose not to ask it. He knew she had it. He chose not to answer it. Some conversations happen entirely in silence.
I wanted to speak with you privately. The group is important, but some conversations require more intimacy.
I'm glad you trust me.
Trust is earned in layers. I want to show you the next layer.
I'd like that.
There was someone before you came to us. Someone who was very close to finding what you found. He came as far as you have come, and then he was afraid.
What happened to him?
He left, and left some things unfinished. His name was Tanvir. Did you know him?
Tanvir. Yes, we were close a long time ago. Why?
She asked about Tanvir directly, by name. I performed surprise. She believed it or she wanted to believe it. I can't tell which.
Rafi, if she's testing you directly,
Then I passed. We keep moving. What else did she tell you this week?
I shouldn't be talking to you, but I've seen what happens in the basement. I've seen the room, the names on the wall. Some of those people, they're gone now.
You're safe. I just need you to tell me, was there a name? Tanvir.
Yes, his name was there, but his symbol was different. It meant he wasn't dead. It meant he was found.
She was there, then she wasn't. No noise, no struggle, just gone. He understood then that this was not a game with rules he had fully mapped. A woman's body in the Buriganga. He knew her face. He had spoken to her 3 days ago. The story had been theoretical until now. It was no longer theoretical. People were dying, had been dying. He had walked into this story thinking he was the hunter. He was beginning to understand he might have been the prey the whole time, or both. He wasn't sure which was worse.
Rafi, it's Sinan. We need to talk now.
He followed Sinan without Sinan knowing. He documented the route, the turns, the time. An architect knows. You measure the structure before you decide where to apply the pressure. There was another building. He hadn't known about it. Ma-Jin had more structure than he had mapped. He began to understand that what he had been investigating was only the visible part. He looked through the window. What he saw, he would carry it with him. Some images don't leave. They become part of the architecture of a person. This one became part of his.
The ritual is Thursday. He must come willingly. That is the condition. You will make sure he comes willingly.
He'll come. He trusts the process now.
I make certain. If he doesn't come willingly, the substitution becomes more complicated.
He had been afraid. Then he heard what he heard. The fear didn't leave. It transformed into something colder and more useful. Something that looked, from the outside, a great deal like purpose.
She told me to make sure you come willingly on Thursday. She said, if you don't come willingly, the substitution becomes more complicated. That's the word she used.
Substitution for what?
For whoever they plan to use before you. Before you walked into that gallery, before I brought you to her.
Tanvir.
Thursday, we complete what we have been building toward. Every session, every conversation, every moment of stillness, it was preparation.
What we do on Thursday cannot be undone, and it will not need to be. Are you ready?
She told them it couldn't be undone. She was right about that. She believed she was telling them about the ritual. She didn't know she was also describing what Nila was about to do. He found the room, the underground room, the one Tanvir had found before him. He understood immediately that finding it was the point at which he could no longer tell himself this would resolve cleanly. Lotus symbols, names scratched into the stone. Some of them he recognized from the circle, some he didn't. All of them had a symbol beside them. Most of the symbols were the same. One was different.
Tanvir, his name on the wall. The symbol beside it was different from the others. He photographed it with a shaking hand. He would find out later what the difference meant. It meant alive.
Hello? It's me. Listen, something's happened. It's worse than we thought. I'm on my way. Sinan, it's urgent. What is it? Thursday. Be ready. Okay, Thursday.
I know you've been watching that building. You have been for 2 years. I can give you everything, the room in the basement, the names, the ritual on Thursday. I can give you Ma-Jin herself. And why are you doing this now? After 2 years?
Because they're going to kill my friend, and I'm the reason he's there.
One address, mentioned once, offhand, weeks ago. He had written it down. He had written everything down. Now he knew where Tanvir was. He had always known, somewhere below the knowing, that Tanvir was alive. Now, He had an address. He stood before the house, the faint light upstairs. 6 months of grief had been constructed around a lie designed to keep him away from this exact door. He knocked anyway. Tanvir was alive. He was standing in a room in old Dhaka, gaunt and haunted and alive. 6 months of a false death, 6 months of hiding, 6 months of being alone. And then the door opened and Rafi was there. He had been completely alone for 6 months, and then he wasn't. That was all. Sometimes that is everything.
I found the room, the basement room. I photographed the names. I was going to take it to someone, a journalist, a police officer, anyone. And then someone told Ma-Jin. Someone in the circle.
Who told her? I never found out. But after that, I had 2 days before they came for me. I faked the death, and I ran.
The ritual, it's not symbolic. They need someone who came willingly, someone who trusts Ma-Jin completely. Rafi, they chose you because you were grieving, because you were alone, because I was gone.
When? Better live that way. Thursday.
He was the sacrifice. He had walked into that gallery, fallen in love, joined the group, and been systematically prepared to die willingly on a Thursday in a factory. The fear arrived. And then something else arrived behind it. Something past fear. He recognized it. It was the thing that makes an architect look at a structural failure and ask, where is the load-bearing point? She came to him without being asked, without a plan or a strategy or a mask. Just Nila. For the first time in her life, just Nila.
I knew what you were from the beginning. I knew about Tanvir. Ma-Jin chose you because of him, because she thought you'd know where he was. I was supposed to find out. I was supposed to be the one who got close enough to ask.
Did you find out?
I stopped trying to find out because I stopped wanting to give her anything about you.
I grew up in it. I don't know how to be outside of it. I don't know if I can be. But I know that on Thursday, I won't do what she's asking me to do.
I know.
Sinan goes to the officer Thursday morning with everything. The room, the names, the photographs. I go to the factory at the normal time so Ma-Jin doesn't know anything has changed.
And if the officer doesn't move fast enough, he will. Because Nila will be inside, and she's going to give them the signal.
And what do I do?
She sat alone with the Blue Lotus card and her phone. She thought about everything she had been. She thought about what she was choosing to become. Then, she sent the message. Some choices, once made, cannot be unmade. She had chosen that on purpose. He didn't sleep. He went through the plan, every point where it could fail, every person who had to do the right thing at the right moment. He was an architect. He knew that the most carefully designed structure could still fall. He had built it as carefully as he could. Tomorrow would tell him if it was enough.
It's me. Thursday morning. I have everything you need.
He stood before the factory, the amber lights inside, the gathering already beginning. He breathed. He let his face settle into the practiced expression. One last time, he walked in. The factory was exactly what it needed to be. Large enough, isolated enough, dramatic enough for what she believed she was building toward. He had seen rooms like this before, spaces designed to make people feel small. He had spent his career designing the opposite. She was in her full power. This was what she had been building toward for years. Every person she had recruited, every session, every carefully chosen word. It had all been preparation for this room, on this night. He took his place in the circle, the practiced face in place, the plan in motion. Everything that happened next depended on other people doing the right things at the right times. He had done what he could. Now, he waited.
Tonight we complete the circle. What was begun years ago reaches its completion. What was scattered is gathered. What was incomplete becomes whole.
Nila was counting. Rafi was waiting. Ma-Jin was speaking. 3 people in the same room, each inside a completely different story. Everything depended on whose story ended first. She called him forward. He stood. He walked toward her. The circle parted around him. His hands were completely still. His face was completely open. His mind was on the factory doors. Her thumb on the send button. Everything came down to this. One message, one thumb, one decision made weeks ago that was only now being executed. She pressed send, the message delivered, the signal sent. She had done the irreversible thing. She stood in the factory and waited for the world to respond to it. Ma-Jin saw the phone. For the first time in Rafi's entire experience of her, something cracked in the control. Just a fracture, just a moment. But he saw it, and Nila saw it, and neither of them looked away.
After everything I gave you, everything you are, everything I am is the reason I'm doing this.
Do you understand what you have destroyed?
Yes, I understand exactly what I've destroyed.
The practiced face was finished. There was no one left to perform for. He stood in the factory and let himself simply be in the room. The plan was working. The cost of it was in the room with him too. He moved through the chaos to stand beside her. He didn't say anything. He didn't need to. Standing beside someone is its own language.
Hold your positions. This is a test. This has always been part of the process. Hold your positions. Rafi.
They stood together and watched the factory doors. The question was simple. Had the signal worked? Had the officer moved fast enough? Had Sinan given him everything he needed? They waited. The doors were the answer. The doors opened. Light came in. The officer came in. Rafi's face did something it had not done since the beginning of this story. The practiced expression broke, just briefly, just slightly. And what was underneath it was the face of someone for whom something had finally, actually worked.
Ma-Jin, step down from the platform. Do it slowly.
I want to speak with my lawyer. Everything here is a legal religious ceremony.
Step down.
She descended from the platform. Every room she had entered for decades had become hers within minutes. This room did not become hers. She walked down the steps and understood, step by step, that it was over. Sinan watched Ma-Jin being walked out. He had brought Rafi to her. He had given the officer everything needed to stop her. He had been on both sides of this story. He stood in the factory and did not try to decide which side he was on now. He was not sure he had earned the right to decide. They stood in the center of it, the ritual dismantled, the police moving through the space, the candles going out. They stood still while everything moved around them. Both of them had lost something in this factory. Both of them had found something too.
Nila, you must come with us now. Nila, please.
Rafi, I will never forget you, my love.
I will wait for you, Nila.
Outside the factory, the air was the same as it had always been. The city was the same. He stood in it and waited for relief to arrive. It didn't arrive yet. It would, but not yet. He sat in the hospital corridor, a bandage on his arm, the fluorescent light, the ordinary sounds of a building at night. He didn't try to process anything. He just sat. Sometimes sitting is the only thing left to do. Tanvir was alive. They sat in the same room and didn't need to speak. 6 months of loss and 6 months of hiding, and now a hospital room at night. Rafi had spent months grieving someone who was alive. Tanvir had spent months alive and grieved. They sat with both of those things together.
The person who told Ma-Jin about me. The one inside the circle who reported me. I know who it was.
Doesn't matter anymore. I just needed to say it. I needed someone to know that I know, and then let it go. Okay? Rafi, I need to tell you something. It's just that, well, I don't know how to say this. I brought you to her. I let it go as far as it went. I was afraid of what would happen to me if I didn't. That's the truth, and it doesn't excuse anything. I'm sorry, Rafi. I know that might not mean anything right now.
Days passed. He took down the research wall. The outlines of where everything had been remained. He stood in the room that had been his investigation and was now just his apartment again. He was the same person who had built that wall. He was not the same person who had lived here before the gallery. He stood on the rooftop and looked at the city, the same buildings, the same light. He was different inside it. He had gone to the gallery to forget grief. He had not forgotten it. He had learned what it was for. Tanvir walked out of the facility into the daylight. 6 months of hiding, 6 months of fear, and then the sun on his face, and the city in front of him, and the whole ordinary world waiting. He closed his eyes. He opened them. He began.
It's from the bakery near the gallery. You mentioned it once. I don't know if you like it. I thought I wanted to bring something.
Why are you being kind to me?
Because you turned around in that factory. Because you grew up in something that never let you choose, and you chose anyway. Because the things you did that were wrong, you did them in a cage, and the thing you did that was right, you did that free.
I hurt you.
I know. And I came anyway. That's what I'm saying.
He walked out into the city, carrying the same weight he had walked in with, but it was distributed differently. An architect knows. The same load, distributed differently, changes everything about what a structure can hold. The windows dark, the blue lotus carving above the door frame still there, the police tape across the door, the building empty around it. It was just a building in the daytime. That was all it had ever been. He waited. He worked. He kept his phone on the desk. He did not check it constantly. He trusted the thing he had chosen to wait for. That was new. That was the work of the last few months, visible in how he sat at his desk.
You came?
I said I would.
I don't know how to do this. Any of this. A normal life, I don't know what normal is. I'm not sure I ever did.
Neither do I. Not anymore.
Is that okay?
Yes, it's okay.
The painting, the one at the gallery, you said, someone reaching so long they look like someone giving up.
We're not giving up.
Good ITV Originals present Blue Poison, a story of love and betrayal.